It's been a while, but finally getting to do another video, and this is my latest project. It is Cat N, basically down to that damage, and it has got a misfire, which I found is cylinder 3. It's a GTi, and yeah, I bought it off of a friend, and the garage didn't really know what was wrong. I think they checked the coil packs, they checked the spark plugs, but it's got this misfire, and I have done a counter on it, and when I drove it like just up the road, it had a couple of hundred misfires on cylinder 3, whereas it only had a couple on the other cylinders. Sort of starts all right, but it's fine when you first start it, and then once it warms up, it starts missing, and you can hear it under the engine as well, under the bonnet. The engine's not happy, so that's a cold start. So it's actually behaving itself at the moment, although it is very fuely. You can see, actually, it smells. So what am I going to do? So what I need to do is take off the inlet manifold, which is underneath here. That's the throttle. There is a really good video that I found on doing this. That's basically it there. Because I want to check, firstly, what's happening with the injectors and stuff, and then we'll go from there. If the garage have already checked the coil packs and stuff, in fact, maybe it's worth me changing the coil packs and spark plugs over on cylinder 3. Maybe put the number 3 spark plug into number 2, swap them round, and number 4 coil pack, swap them round, and then depending on whether the issue changes between cylinders 4 or 2, we'll confirm that there's no issues on the coil pack or cylinders. But ultimately what I want to do is take the injector out of cylinder 3 and swap that with probably cylinder 2, and that will give me an idea whether there's an injector issue. I think new injectors are a couple of £100, but it's a bit of a pain in the arse job to do, so we'll see how that goes. But let's get started. Just going to cut in there. Don't go till the end, because I think I found the issue eventually, even though my outro at the end would suggest I haven't. So stay to the end, because there's a bit more information coming up. Right, now the cover's off. It involved just removing this from here and these 2 clips on there, and then the cover's actually on these things here, these 4 things. So now we've got that off, we can see the inlet manifold, and this is what I need to get off. Obviously before I do that, I need to remove some more pipes. We've got the pipe here, the inlet pipe that comes from the intercooler, which is down, you can see the pipe there. The video I saw, he took the whole pipe off. Not sure whether I'm going to do that, or whether I'm just going to try and take it off from here, undo this. Now the strange thing is, this doesn't look like it's been apart, although there is screws missing there, so I need to see what's actually going on here. That looks like it's had new coil packs in the past. There's some markings on it, so I think I need to check these coil packs first before I do anything here. Let's and the spark plugs. Let's get to it. Right, so we've got number 3 coil pack out. This is the spark plug. If I can get it to focus. It smells fuely and it's quite black. Gap also looks quite big. I thought the gap on these was quite small, so I'm going to check the gap on the spark plug as well before I do anything else. And then I'm going to put this spark plug in number 2 position, and I'm going to put the coil pack in number 4 position, and then run it up and see whether the misfire changes places. Okay, right, so here's number 2 spark plug, and as you can see, if I bring it a bit closer, that's how it should look. We compare them. You can see how black this one is. So this one is a healthy spark plug. That other one is not. That's obviously either over fueling or something there. So, or the coil pack. So let's see. I need to put this spark plug now in number 2. And then I need my diagnostics. But I've got a feeling that this is probably going to be an injector issue. It is a common issue on these, so let's see. Right, we're all back in. Got the coil pack swapped between these two and the spark plug swapped between these two. So just need to get the engine cover, because that's got the MAF sensor as part of the intake, and then we'll get it up to temperature, get my diagnostics out, and we can do a count on the misfires. My hope is it's going to change to cylinders 2 or 4, but I've not got much hope. I think cylinder 3 is still going to be the one, and it's going to need an injector at the very least. Right, let's see how we get on. Definitely misfiring again. Right, I'm going to let that run for a minute. I'm going to get my diagnostics and we can plug it in. Now you can really hear it now. Now it's gone on to normal idle. Quite a lot of movement in the engine there as well. So I've got the dongle plugged in. I just need to wait for this to come up. It's come up. So let's have a look and see what we can do and see. Right, so we're going to go on to control module. Live data. There's no engine management light at the moment, so I'm going to do advanced measure. There's quite a lot of smoke coming out at the moment. Well, I wouldn't say smoke, it's probably fuel. And then I'm going to look for misfire. And then here we've got misfire, on those, show selected. So at the moment we've actually got misfire on all of them. That's not looking good. But if we look, number 9, it's going up. Sorry, not number 9, misfire on number 3 every time I rev it. It's not going up on the others. The others have had a couple. So that would suggest that we've still got an issue with cylinder 3. So inlet manifold is going to have to come off. Just thought I would have a look at the trouble codes, and as we can see, random multiple cylinder misfire detected, upper limit exceeded, and here we've got misfire detected, upper limit exceeded on cylinder 3. So we've still got issues on cylinder 3. Let's hope it's not a huge issue, but obviously the other issue that these are affected with is carbon build-up on the intake valves, which you can clean up when you've got the intake manifold off. So that's a bit of a grubby job and not very nice job, and really I could probably do with a power line, with an air line to do that, but yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Quick update, taken these fuel lines off. I've undone this from the manifold. I'm hoping I might be able to get that off without having to undo some more stuff, but I might have to undo this one here, and then I think this will just flip over because this pipe is flexible. I haven't followed the video that I linked below. I haven't taken the whole charge pipe off. I've just removed it from the bottom of the throttle body and just removed this one nut here, this was on here, and that's given me enough room to get that off. I don't see any reason why I can't take the manifold off with the throttle on, but that might prove me wrong later on. Otherwise it's just 4 bolts. So just for reference, this bolt goes in there, and that's holding the fuel line on, but it's a 10mm. So this is really annoying because I lost all the footage before I took the manifold off. So I actually managed to get the manifold off, and found that number 3 injector had already been replaced. So I don't think it's the injector. I have swapped them round, number 2 and number 3. Put the manifold back on. I'm now trying to get the throttle body back on. This is proving to be a real pain in the arse. I'm trying to get to these bolts, so I've bought a couple of things I bought, but it's a shallow ratchet, and I've also got endoscope, which was about 30 quid. And so I'm going to have a look down the bore, and I've also got this, which is compression tester. So I'm going to do a dry and wet compression test as well, because that should tell us then whether it's a problem with piston rings or valves. Right, so I've got the spark plugs out, and this is the endoscope. So you can see it's got a light on the end as well. So let's see what we can see down there. I'll try and keep this visible. So this is the cylinder. Just need to straighten this up a bit. I might not be able to do this one-handed. Still might need to move the cylinder, the piston. Come on, in you go. There we go. Right. That doesn't look like there's any damage. I'm gonna have to twist this around. Doesn't look like there's any damage to the piston or the bore. The problem thing I can't see is, come on, I can't actually see the valves. It might be a valve issue. So one thing we need to do is fuse position 27, fuel pump. It's a 15 amp. Take that out so that when we have the ignition on, we don't have fuel going into the cylinder. Right, let's give this a go. Cylinder number 1. So that is 190, so that's pretty good. Cylinder number 2. $195 on that one, so again pretty good compared to what I've seen online. Right, cylinder number 3. This is the one that's, I think, low on compression. Well, that's a shock. Now, strangely, that's just been dropping. I don't know whether that's... Let me try that again. I'm just going to make sure it's actually... Right, let me try again. I'm going to just reduce that, because that seemed to be dropping, but then it stopped at about 175. Fact is though, it went up to 195 or 190, which I wasn't expecting. So I've just done cylinder 3 again, showing 195, which is healthy. But it's also very confusing because I just don't understand. There's no compression loss on there. So what is causing the issue with misfire on cylinder 3? Let's go and do cylinder 4 anyway. This one is about 205. So they're all around the same figure. They should all be within about 5% of each other, but they're ranging from what, 185 to 205, which is about 5%. But that's confused me now, because there's no issue in the actual engine. So could it be an electrical fault? I think we're going to have to investigate more. I need to get the car back together. I've swapped the injectors round between 2 and 3. I don't think they need coding on these from what I've read. It's definitely had a new injector in cylinder number 3 when it was at the garage. Whether it was a new injector, I don't know. Whether that's part of the issue, maybe it's also a faulty injector. Maybe they put a second-hand one in. By swapping them, hopefully we should get an idea of what's going on. But I need to get all the plugs back on, get the intercooler pipe back on, and actually get it back running again, because as far as I can see, there's nothing wrong, unless there's something with the wiring. But then I would have expected maybe some sort of error on the injector, but I'm only getting a misfire error. So let's see what happens. I'm going to get it back together and hopefully get it running, and then we'll take it from there. As usual, things don't always go to plan. So got the car back together and it's misfiring even worse now. There was some bolts missing. I found a bolt missing on the throttle body, and there was another bolt missing, a couple of bolts missing for things around the inlet manifold. So having looked online with all of the results that we've had from the testing, people are talking about compensation values for injectors, and that it's possibly a software issue or an ECU update needed, or just some setup of the injectors. So I think the next stage is get it into a Volkswagen specialist and get them to have a look at it, because I'm a bit stuck really. The spark plugs seem okay, the coil packs seem okay, the injector seemed okay, hard to tell. They've obviously replaced it at the garage. Compression values are okay. So unless there's an electrical fault, the only other thing I can think of is that it's a software issue. So leave it here and hopefully give you an update in the next video. Bye for now. Interestingly, I have got the engine back together now, and if we look, we used to have an issue with cylinder 3, and we have got a couple of misfires there, and it is misfiring at the moment, but just taking it down the road. But look what happens when I rev it. Taking in mind that I've changed injectors 2 and 3 round, so the misfire was on 3. Now if we rev it at 2000 revs, we're getting misfire after misfire on cylinder 2. So that is the injector that had been replaced by the garage is now in cylinder 2. I'd imagine the other ones are also probably to do with the fact that the PCV valve pipe is also a bit split, but it's looking like it's possibly just going to need another injector and maybe some new gaskets and a pipe.